means in the routine doesn't become but most, I mean, your doctor is PhD in all kinds of yeah, and then PhD
It's a little slow, so it's actually 10:30 now, but that's useful. Thank you, Danielle. Good morning, folks. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Tucson. It is Sunday, November 23rd. Welcome to you all in Holland, welcome to you in Goddard, and welcome you watching us from afar. My name is Bert Meek. I'll be the worship associate for you this morning. I prefer the pronouns he and him, despite some people saying that we should announce those, but not here. So this morning, in the pulpit, we have the Reverend Tina Squire. She is the settled minister at Sky Island UU, Unitarian Universalist Church in Sierra Vista. Here's a slide. That's what her church looks like. Our beloved minister, Reverend Jamili Omar, is preaching today at Borderlands as part of the Baja 4 exchange of ministers, pulpit exchange. Reverend Jamili will be back with us in 2 Sundays, not next week, but the following Sunday. We tell you a little bit more about Reverend Tina. She can trace her Unitarian Universalist roots back 5 generations, way more than I can. She began her life, she used the expression, as a foreign service brat, which meant that she was following wherever her father went, that's where she went. As a child, she lived twice in Russia. She's also lived in Australia. She spent much of her younger life in Washington, D.C. until she found the delights of settling in Sierra Vista back in 2005. She currently has what she describes as 2 dream jobs. One is a hospice chaplain there at Sierra Vista, and she's also served at Sky Island since September 2018. She enjoys her life with her husband, her 2 young adult sons, and the 2 cats. She gives credit as well for enjoying her life. So let's give Reverend Tina a warm UUCT welcome. So I have another announcement, another cause to celebrate today. There's a new doctor in the house. Our very own Danielle Meffin passed the defense of her dissertation on Friday. Wait, I have more. She earned her PhD in music education at the University of Arizona, so let's all give her a congratulatory again. I was wondering how much of a bow she'd take for this, but she had members of her UUCT family watching her live do her dissertation. She did marvelously. I'm a little biased, but anyway, that happened just on Friday, so well done. So, as we declare every Sunday, our community commits itself to strive to be as varied as the blooms of the Sonoran Desert. As part of this commitment, we pledge to uphold each of the next slide, the 7 Unitarian Universalist shared values. You'll see them in just a second. These are values which bind us together as a community as we try to bring out the very best in each of us. You'll see it in just a second. I like to build a suspense here. Today, I want to talk just a little bit about one of those values, interdependence. None of us would be here where we are today without others in our lives whom we were able to love and trust and supported us. There we go, thank you. We honor beyond just that the entire web of life, of which we are a small but important part of. and how critical it is for us always to remember, together we are stronger. It's all about the interdependence. Before I forget, one more announcement. We have 2 gender-specified bathrooms right through the door where you entered on the left side there. And behind the AV desk, we have a gender-neutral, all genders, and that one is fully accessible. Next thing, I need to make sure we remind ourselves of the ways that UUCT has needed to adapt to the current times in which we live. On Sunday mornings only, the sanctuary here, the social hall over in Goddard, our parking lots, and our children's classrooms are considered public spaces in which all are welcome. However, we have designated a number of private spaces here in Holland and elsewhere in campus. These offices are labeled private. Their entry to them is by invitation only. It extends to each and every one here, but it does not extend to law enforcement or ICE agents unless they come here with a properly signed judicial warrant. So if ever any of you feel the least bit unsafe, you're welcome to remove yourself from here and go to one of those private spaces. Don't hesitate to do that at any point. As we worship this morning, let us always be mindful of those desert people who were here first, in this place, in this land, and whose land was stolen from them in successive acts of displacement and even genocide. So we honor the Hodum, the Yaqui, the Apache. We also honor the Hohokam and the many other ancient peoples whose names we are unaware of. As we move more deeply into the space of worship, be assured that we value you for what you are and what you bring to us today. We need to protect and embrace one another and our diversity now more than ever. It's become an act of radical love and radical defiance to proclaim you, each one of you, is welcomed here in this space. I will give several descriptors of different groups of people, and after each one, I will signal to you, and please respond with, "You are welcome here." So, however you physically entered the sanctuary, whether you walked, whether you rolled, whether you skipped, whether you did backflips, however you came here, thank you. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, exactly. Whatever is your legal status, thank you. Whatever cultural or ethnic background you claim, good. Whomever you love, however you identify your gender, and in whatever way you choose to express it, we proclaim loudly and clearly, you are welcome here. Thank you. Now, we extend our hand of welcome if there are any new visitors here who've come to UUCT for the first time. If you're new and you're willing, we'd appreciate it if you'd raise your hand so we can extend our welcome to you personally. Anyone new? 1, 2, hey! Thank you. Thank you for being here this morning. So one of the things we do at the end of the welcome is a turn to your neighbor. I'll give you a topic to discuss. It's best if you can talk to someone whom you haven't had breakfast with, but anyway, this may be something, even if it's someone you're pretty familiar with, they may not know this about you. Since the focus of the sermon is going to be on movement, what I'd like you to talk about, and I'll give you a few minutes to do that, is when you were growing up, and for some of you that'll be thinking back further than other people, how did your parents react to you as a child when you expressed how you were feeling in your body, in your movement, in your motion, in your physical movement? What was your parents' reaction when you, as a child, expressed how you were feeling through physical movement? So, please, talk away, and I'll ring the bell when we have to move on. I had guessed this might get some lively discussions going. Please, you have important stuff to share. Don't stop here. Continue it on during the social hour or when you get back home. Thank you.
So welcome to worship today. We are going to be celebrating, exploring the resilience we can find in our bodies. The 20th century Russian poet Osip Mandelstam had a poem that, or just one phrase of his poem, sunk deep inside me, and I've never forgotten it. And it's, I was given a body. What should I do with it? So unique, so my own. It flows better in Russian. You can remember it better in Russian. But when I heard it in my 20s, I just loved that phrase. I have this body, and it is mine. And what will I do with it? It's so unique. It just seems such an exciting way to start off life, exploring with my short little body, the wonders it brought me. Now, over the years, bodies have let me down. You know, people I love have died too young or in bad ways. How many people here have never, raise your hand if you've never been let down by your body? Right? So it seems kind of odd to be talking about the resilience we find in it. And yet, as broken as they are, as imperfect as they are, as hard as it can be to walk or breathe or use them efficiently to hear or see, they are still miracles, and they still are our vehicle for being here together today. And within them, many therapists believe we cannot do real healing from trauma, from the past, without doing it in our bodies. We can think about it, we can talk about it, but we really have to be embodied. And so we're going to be doing some body-related, body-adjacent things today. I'm going to start you with a little practice that actually takes you out of your body. So I want you to breathe in, and if you're comfortable closing your eyes, great. If not, just relax them. So sit in your seat. But imagine, after a few deep breaths, that you're floating in space. And you see below you planet Earth turning slowly. You see the beauty of all that blue, some green, some brown. You might even see a tiny sliver of atmosphere, like a fingernail. That's all that keeps us alive. You look down and you see that. And now slowly descend until you're above the Western Hemisphere, perhaps in a geostationary satellite. You stay stuck over this hemisphere and you see the North America and South America and the tiny little tail holding them together. And now move down over Arizona, past mountains and sky islands and saguaro and desert and canyons, and come over Tucson, up above this church. Some of you here might know what the roof looks like. I don't. But imagine yourselves looking down on the roof of UUCT. And then come into the sanctuary and look down on your body. Look over it. Look at your hair or lack of hair. See how your body might be moving, breathing, sitting still. And then slowly slip smoothly back into your body. Be aware of the seat behind you and under you. Listen to the people around you. And maybe open your eyes and look around to orient yourself here. So no matter if you're in Goddard or here in Holland, watching at home, watching online in the future, all of us have come here and are now deeply in our bodies here. Let us worship.
For the chalice lighting this morning, I'm going to read from a short writing, a piece of work written by the Reverend Richard S. Gilbert. Its title is Life is Always Unfinished Business. It's taken from Reverend Gilbert's a larger book called In Holy Quiet. In the midst of the whirling day, in the hectic rush to be doing, in the frantic pace of life, pause here for a moment. Catch your breath. Relax your body. Loosen your grip on life. And consider that our lives are always unfinished business. Imagine that the picture of your being is never complete. Allow your life to be a work in progress. Don't hurry to mold the masterpiece. Don't rush to finish the picture. Don't be impatient to complete the drawing. From beckoning birth to the dawning death, we are all in process. And always, 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 there's more to be done. Do not let the incompleteness weigh down your spirit. Do not despair that imperfection somehow marks your everyday. Do not fear that we are still in the making. Instead, let us be grateful that the world is still being created. Let us give thanks that we can be more than we are right at this very moment. Let us celebrate the power of the incomplete. For life is always unfinished business. Those of you at home, please light a candle. Those of you in Goddard, as we light the chalice here in Holland. Brian.
Would you please rise as you are able and allow your body to shake off whatever you're carrying. Find that feeling we just had in that opening meditation. And we'll sing Ali Halpert's Loosen, Loosen, one of the newest songs added to Sing Out Love, the new UU hymnal, but a song that's older for us. We've been singing it for a few years. If you don't know the song, if it's brand new to you, it repeats. You'll catch it pretty quickly. The words will be on your screen. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Holy breath and holy name, will you ease this pain? Loosen, loosen, baby, you don't have to care. carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go, let go. Loosen, loosen, baby. You don't have to carry the weight of the world in your muscles and bones. Let go, let go. Repeat, let go. Let go, let go, let go. Last time. Let go, let go, let go. Thank you.
I like that song. It's time now for our weekly ritual of joys and sorrows. For the suffering of others and for so many other reasons, we set aside this moment in every service to remember and to honor and to hold dear the joys and sorrows in our lives. Now, how we feel may not be the least bit obvious to those around us, but our emotions, how we are doing inside, are very real and very present for each and every one of us. And because of that, we need a time and place to honor those feelings. With these large stones before you that Reverend Tina will place in the bowl, we reach down to the stability and the firmness of the earth, because the earth has witnessed every migration and every movement since it coalesced out of stardust eons ago. We know that our earth can hold our collective pain, sorrow, loves, and anger. Now, the water that we pour is a life-sustaining resource that sadly is not at all available everywhere where it needs to be. While we do this, here and at home, we recognize those migrating through our desert at this very moment who may well not have access to water. Let's take a second to honor those compassionate organizations that leave supplies of water in the desert so that those people may have a better chance of a life for themselves and their children. Personally, in the blessing of all the rain that we've had the last few days, I was out walking and I was privileged to witness the Alamo Stream, which usually is dry, but it was running and tumbled over the final spillway to be greeted by the Rito. And together, they traveled westward to recharge our aquifers. I also want to share one more thing, how deeply moved I was yesterday when the service for Larry Newhouse was held here in our church. By the warmth, the caring, and the love that filled our sanctuary while we celebrated Larry's life. My hope is that Margot can keep those memories close to her heart as she moves through the grief over the loss of her husband of 66 years. For those of you who wish to share your joy or your sorrow with us online, you can go to menti.com and enter the code 1371-6397. If you're here in Holland and you want a little help with your device, Brian Moon is more than glad to assist you. If you're here in person and have a joy or sorrow that you wish to honor, in just a minute, I'm going to invite you up to come down both aisles to place a stone or sometimes several stones that you choose to represent your individual joy and your individual sorrows. For those of you who wish to be a little more private about this ritual, we have a bowl in the back of the room with some stones as well. You can participate there. For the rest of us, while this is going on, please remain quiet in quiet contemplation of your own feelings. Even if you don't do this, your feelings still certainly need to be honored. And then you support those who come forward. So, those of you who wish, please come forward now to either side of the bowl. Daniel. Let me read. We had several entries. I figured there'd be at least a few more comments on this one, Danielle. I'm proud of your accomplishments. Congratulations. See if there are any more for that. Okay. Then, I'm feeling joy to have support from my partner as I move through many changes. That's what the interdependence was all about, we were talking about before. Grateful for this church family, same theme, and hoping for reconciliation with relatives. I wish you success on that. Appreciate the meditative and mindful call of worship by a Reverend Squire. It helped to build resilience in this aging body, and you'll have more chance for that as the service goes on. For my son with a mystery health issue, we hope he can solve the mystery. I'm worried about the homeless when it rains so hard, absolutely. Show compassion for them. We have a joy this week. On Wednesday, we celebrate our 55th anniversary. Rick and Margie Hallmark, congratulations, that's a milestone. I'm thankful for all of us at this time. Too many of my longtime friends are passing as I hit 70. Grateful years, 70 years, they're all grateful. That's quite an accomplishment there this last month. Do we have some more? We got all? Good. I will place a few more stones in the bowl to represent those feelings of joys and sorrows which were not spoken out loud. And my hope is the healing and the celebration will ripple well beyond the confines of this bowl.
Hear this prayer from Reverend Sarah Eileen Lawal, seeking that which unites us. May we remember we are a people of resilience. We, and this church, have faced uncertainty before. We have weathered storms. We have been consumed by flames. We have risen like the phoenix from the ashes, and we will again. We, the people. May we remember our shared humanity, our universal kinship, our interdependence, as we unclench our fists and breathe together, breathing in love and breathing out peace. May we recognize the spark of the divine inside all of us, even those we are not quite sure about. In this time of uncertainty, we remember that good will go on as we work to move forward together, we the people, seeking that which unites us, with our arms reaching out wide for life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. May love prevail. In the name of all that is holy, we pray. Amen.
I'd like to ask you to join me in doing something that Sarah Dan Jones and Beth Norton did at the conference, music conference this summer, which is they combined their two songs into one, and we'll try that a little now. But I forgot to get a C. Would you give me one? So we'll start with the first slide, please, lyrics. We'll start with breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. There is a love holding me. There is a love holding all that I love. There When I breathe in, I breathe in the peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. There is a love holding us. There is a love holding all that we love. There is a love holding all. We rest in this love. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out softly. Breathe in, breathe out.
We've done the breathing, but I want you to do this body practice with me just for a minute. Again, if you're comfortable closing your eyes, do so, but if not, just make them soft. And feel the seat under you. And I want you to breathe in and out as you breathe, but maybe take more time breathing in than you breathe, and then, breathe in and then take more time breathing out. So breathe in peace. Breathe out love. Breathe in. Breathe out. Of course, at your pace. One more good breath in. And one really long one out. Well said. And now open your eyes and be here together. I just love breathing. I don't know why that is the practice I go to again and again. In Resma Menachem's book, every practice he does starts with breathing. I'm sure many of the things you do start with breathing. I'm sure many of you meditate. I just love the way it makes me feel. Last week, when I was suffering from bronchitis and annoyed with my body, not feeling very resilient in it, I found a book that reminded me of the wonder of my youth when I did like the fact I had this body that was given to me that was so unique and so mine. It's from Bill Bryson, and the book's called The Body, A Guide for Occupants. And in his typical style, there's a lot of science, there's some great stories, a lot of humor, but his paragraph on breathing is the best in the book. Every time you breathe, you exhale some 25 sextillion, that is 2.5 followed by 22 zeros, molecules of oxygen. So many that within a day's breathing, you will, in all likelihood, inhale at least one molecule from the breaths of every person who has ever lived. And every person who lives from now on until the sun burns out will from time to time breathe in a bit of you. At the atomic level, we are, in a sense, eternal. I love that description of breathing. But I also, I know that there are scientific articles about how important breathing is, from the Cleveland Clinic to the American Lung Association. They talk about when you breathe out, you release toxins. When you breathe in, especially deeply, you push oxygen more and more into your cells. You nourish yourself. At a physical level, breathing is really important. But there's so many other levels I think it touches us. I discovered meditating and breathing several decades ago in seminary. I was very anxious. I had writer's block. I couldn't finish my papers. Seminary took me 10 years, not 3. I can go into detail why, but I had no, yes. Anyway, so I was taught something called centering prayer, which is basically a Christian version of transcendental meditation. You say a word in your head or a snippet of a word, and you repeat it to get rid of the racing thoughts. And you pay attention to your breathing. And as I did this practice every day, I actually started writing my papers, and I stopped needing to say the word. I just enjoyed paying attention to my breathing. I loved the feeling as I breathed out toxins, but I really enjoyed that feeling of bringing nourishment inside and opening up my heart and finding peace. After doing this for a while, I remember walking on a path in the Washington, D.C. area, and some strangers walked up towards me, and my first response came out of what people call the lizard brain, the reptilian brain. I jumped. And then, because I'd been doing this practice, I didn't even breathe differently. I just went into that space, that more open place I would get to when I meditated. And then I was able to smile at them and be friendly and not respond in such a knee-jerk, protective manner. And there are many who say that when we do this type of meditation, when we breathe, we are activating our vagal nerve. And Jim Costello, in something called The Brain Follows, why mental health begins with the body. Again, the idea that we have to heal through our bodies as well. He says the vagal nerve runs from your gut to the heart and lungs, and when you stimulate it, it shifts your body out of stress and into a calm, connected state. I love the way Resmaa Menakem describes it. He calls it your soul nerve. He talks about how it connects you to compassion and feeling, but it doesn't run straight to your higher mind. It runs kind of to your reptilian brain, and that you have to work on it. You can't directly change it. It tells most of the muscles in your body what to do, how to constrict, how to release, how to jump from strangers on a path, right? But it's outside of your deliberate, conscious control. With attention and patience, he says, you can learn to work with it. You can breathe and be conscious and relax your body and soothe yourself during difficult or high-stress situations to help you from jumping reflexively into flight, fight, or freezing, right? Kind of like I did on that path. I think part of the reason I've loved breathing is it helps open you up to a different part of yourself so you can make choices about how you respond. And Menakem believes that in order to heal the trauma that's deeply inside us, we have to do these body practices. We have to do them. But it's not just for our sakes alone. I'm not trying to lead us into a very self-centered, fundamentalist Christian belief that we save only ourselves. But by working on ourselves, we can also work on others and our connection to others. So Menakem has a very interesting insight into the way, he talks about white body supremacy and the way we work in the world. I've heard a lot about white fragility, but his description of it makes much more sense to me. He says that as individual people, we take in trauma, and if we don't work on it, if we don't learn how to soothe ourselves, we will start to dump it on other people. It will carry forth in our lives. It becomes weird personality traits. And then within families, if we're not careful, those traumas can become, well, dysfunctional families, right? Which we are all part of. And then, our communities, we start to repeat these things. It becomes culture. You as a church have been really good about working on some of the trauma from your past, right? To shift your culture, to figure out who you are. That is phenomenal. This has to start in our own bodies, but we do it together as well. And when he talks about the way white people inhabit their bodies, he talks about a trauma I'd never really heard before, but of course I understand. He feels that white people carry trauma from generations of living in Europe, starting with the plagues and with potato famines. And I will not go into the details of how people could be punished by losing body parts or their lives. And remember our lovely medieval history and how that violence continued, how the English took over the Welsh and Scottish, and then used the Scottish to take over the Irish. And in every situation, stripping away their culture, their clothing, their language. And then they came to the New World and took away culture and clothing and language from native groups, right? Many of the people who came to this country came bearing trauma, leaving trauma. And there's a way to work through it. There's a way to face either clean pain or dirty pain. Dr. David Schnarch, I don't know how to say his name, is the one who kind of describes this. And he says, the clean pain, of course, we understand is when you can sit in your sorrow or sit with the pain that comes up and move through it, feel safe, move through it, let it go. But dirty pain, of course, is when you avoid it, you dump it out on other people, you perpetuate it, and we end up with this trauma. I love the way Resmaa Menakem says, if you spend time with your body, if you find those ways to relax, if you settle in your body with many different practices, not only will you not freeze or flee, you will start to see how white body supremacy is in your world. If you're a white person, you'll start to understand. His theory is that we see black bodies as dangerous, but also very strong, and also there to protect us. He talks about how in Virginia, when indentured servants got together to stand up against the landed class, there were black and white indentured servants. That's when they started more of a caste system. And clearly you could see by the color of someone's skin, they were going to work in the field and take care of you. And that's been built into our reptilian brain over generations, right? So our response is, oh, black body, let's be scared. And they're superhuman, so we have to respond quickly and violently. Oh, but you also need to take care of me. And we need to learn how to soothe ourselves, how to understand the trauma that lives within us, how to be willing to sit with clean pain and not flee from it. He talks about how for African Americans, of course, the trauma has been much more intense, but for fewer generations, about 4, right? Once they were brought into this country as slaves. And you can see the effect on the skeletal system, on blood pressure, on life expectancy, on black bodies. He also talks about his grandmother and how we could see it in her hands. When he was a small boy, he'd watch television with her. And her hands would hurt, and so he'd rub them. And finally he asked her his burning question, "Grandma, why are your hands so different from mine?" She was a slight person, but her hands were thick, and they had pads under on the thumbs. And she said, "Oh, Because when I was younger than you are now, when I was 4, we were sharecroppers, and I had to go in the field and pick cotton. And he looked at his hand, and Resma said, well, but I pick things in our garden. And she said, yeah, cotton is different. Cotton has these sharp burrs, and when you stick your hand in, it cuts it up. And over time, my hands got these calluses, and were no longer cut up. We live with this history and these traumas in our very bodies, right? So it is important, it is important to learn how to address that in ourselves. And very often we're not even aware. We've heard this, right? We're not even aware when we're doing these things. Menachem talks about his wife, Maria, going to a Walmart. This is not a Costco, this is a Walmart. At Costco, when you leave, they look at your receipt and make sure what you have in your cart and the receipt match. In a Walmart one day, the very same thing happened to her. A clerk came over and looked at her receipt, and she was shook up about this, so she sat down and drank some water and watched everyone leaving as the clerk approached the 6 African Americans, but nobody else. And so she went to the manager, who was aghast, who went to the clerk, who was also surprised. She hadn't been aware that her random checks, coming out of her terrified reptilian lizard brain, were picking out a certain group of people that scared her the most. So there's a lot of work to do, but I believe we need to start with being in our bodies, loving them no matter how imperfect they are. Mandelstam continues and talks about, after, my body is this wonderful thing, he says, for this wonderful act of breathing, whom should I thank? And every day I do that as well. Now, I think breathing is the best way to do body practice personally, except sometimes it isn't. One day, a dear, dear friend had died. It was a number of years ago. And yes, I wanted to escape. Instead of doing these practices to face clean pain, to change the world, I was just trying to escape. If you've never been desperate and wanted to escape, raise your hand, right? And so I tried eating a piece of brownie. Didn't work. Tried meditating. Didn't work. Finally, I got out the big guns. I found the 2-year-old beer hidden in my pantry and poured myself a little glass, and my children, who never see me imbibe, ran to my husband, "Mom's drinking!" Didn't work. So finally I gave up and went to my Zumba class, and that worked. Movement can often be helpful when we don't expect it. We know that it releases endorphins, we get that runner's high. I also learned from Bryson about a thing called osteocalcin, which is a hormone released by your bones, especially if you move, and it regulates your pancreas, your insulin levels, male fertility, your cognitive abilities, and can make you feel well too. So there's a lot to be said for movement. I'm going to close with just a little bit. I'm not going to make you get up or move around. If you want to, you can move backwards and forwards in your seat, or you can just move your head. When he was little, Resma would find his grandmother in her rocking chair, just moving, just moving. He said she wasn't neurotic, but it soothed her, and she would just sit like that for hours. But it was soothing, it brought her back to herself. So if you are inclined, after you breathe a little, you can rock in your chair or move your neck from side to side. And remember, you can do this anytime, standing up, sitting down, in bad traffic, in a boring meeting. You can settle yourself, soothe yourself, come back to yourself. Thank you.
It's time now in our service to consider offering to the welfare of our church. So however you participate in today's service, whether you're here physically, whether you're over in Goddard, whether you're there remotely watching us now or tomorrow or the next week, our congregation depends on your love and your time and your financial support. If you're here in person, in just a minute, the ushers will be passing around a collection basket among you. If you're watching us from afar, you can send a check to our church office, or you can give online at uuctucson.org/donate. We also have a text to give number, 833-361-5796. Our church is sustained by all that we bring with us, our caring, our talent, our time, and our treasure. The offering is an opportunity to each of you to recommit part of your financial wealth to this place, this people, and to our mission as a church. Your generous offering today will be received with gratitude. Go ahead.
Thank you, Danielle. Good morning. My name is Robert Schultz, and I'm a member of your Board of Trustees with the portfolio of lifespan faith development, including, the kids are in already, speaking of religious education. And I want to first invite everyone to social hour after the service in Goddard Hall, which is out the double doors behind you to your left, and there will be coffee, iced tea, lemonade, snack, and good company. Social hour food and refreshments are free for all, and but donations are appreciated to cover our costs. If you are new, I feel really tall at this podium this morning. I feel like I need to do something. I thought there's a control some. Oh, hey, look, it's even got an arrow on it.
So cool for short.
Ooh, yeah, I will put it back, I promise. All right. Oh, good grief. Okay, good enough. Oh, that is better. Thank you for your patience. If you're new and want to stay in touch with us, you can fill out a guest information card in the Welcome Center in Goddard Hall. You can also find a virtual guest information card in the newcomer section of our website. We heard from Bert earlier about our policy regarding uninvited law enforcement on campus. And if you have questions about it, I'd like you to please find a board member, myself, or anyone else in a blue lanyard. Also, any member of the safety team or Reverend Jamili when she's back. And we're staying up to date on situations we find ourselves in and revisiting as necessary. I have a couple of other announcements coming into the holiday season let's do these in order, actually. There was a little flash on the screen during offertory about saving the date for newcomer welcome and breakfast on December 7th this year from 9 to 10:15 a.m. before the service. It is going to be in the Servetus room, which is all the way in the back left of the Children's Center. And we'll explore UUism in a broad sense, as well as our church and its many activities in particular. To RSVP, please contact Mary Holly Allison, who's in here, in the back corner, as well as Beth Britton, member of our Welcome Committee. And you can email Mary Holly at mhallison2@aol.com. Also, on the musical side, on Saturday, December 20th, there is a group of UUCT singers, and this isn't just a desert chorale, this is anyone who likes to sing carols for holiday season, Yule carols, if you will. We're going caroling to several assisted living facilities. All are welcome. More announcements to follow. Please, of course, bring any questions to Brian Moon. And I'd like to invite anyone who has questions about Lifespan Faith Development. There is everything that's going on in the church goes out in a Thursday weekly email blast. But if you have any questions about any of those programs, please feel free to find me in social hour after this service. Thank you.
We are grateful for the endless blessings we receive beyond what we could have conceived, for this journey that led us here and this path to follow of a love so dear.
So anyone who wants to join me up here, you guys are especially welcome. I don't know, you don't know me, so you might not want to come up, but we're going to play a game, okay? And we're going to lead the adults. If you don't help me, I'll make the adults do it. How many of you, have you guys ever played Follow the Leader? Yeah? Yeah, you want to come play? Help me. We're going to get everyone moving, I hope. This has been, yeah, thank you for helping me. Great. This is fabulous. You're right here. What's your name?
Dante.
Oh, Dante. And I bet you're Benjamin? Yeah. What's your name? Raul. Nice to meet you. I'm Tina. So we're going to play. It's going to be a little different because some of these adults might not move really well, or they may not want to play at all, but hopefully they will. So I have some questions for you. Do any of you have a cat or a dog? You do? When they get up from sleeping, do they take naps?
Yes.
Yes. And when they get up, what do they do? What's one of the first things they do?
They walk around the house.
They walk around
Meow.
and they meow.
They chase each other. They beg us to give them treats, and they want me to pet them.
I want you to pet them. What's the very first thing I see my animals do? They even name yoga exercises after them. They stretch, right? Have you ever seen your dog go, ooh, or your cat arch its back, your dog do this, and then do this?
Yes.
Yeah.
I also do stretches when I wake up.
You do? So can you show us a stretch, and then maybe everyone here, if they want to stand up and do it, could follow your leadership, right? What's a stretch you do? Everyone do that? We've been sitting a long time, so I thought that would be the first good thing to do, right? So what do you do with your body when you feel sad? Is there a motion you do? You kind of hunch over. What do? You do this. So everyone do this. What is a motion you do when you're happy? Well, he's really kind to you. You can do this in your seats. Is there another motion you do when you're happy?
Laugh.
You laugh. Okay, everyone, let's try to laugh. There's laughter yoga, and it does make you feel better. What about you, Raul? Is there anything you do when you're happy?
No, not really.
Is there anything you do when you're afraid?
He's not afraid of anything.
Okay, what
Well,
about
I'd
you?
be sarcastic.
Well, oh, you'd be sarcastic. So how could we act sarcastic?
Sure.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
sure.
I'm so scared.
Oh no, I'm so scared. Everyone, oh no, I'm so scared. And sure.
Sure.
Yeah. So there's some things you can do if you're scared or to make yourself feel better. One person suggests, what do you have? You go, just like the scream, huh? You didn't want to be so loud. Thank you. Oh, you squeak. Yeah, that's good. Have you ever buzzed like a bee? Bzzz. Everyone buzz. That is something.
Oh no, I'm so scared. A horde of bees are coming after me. What should I do?
So buzzing, a bunch of bees. So you're being sarcastic. So if you're scared, buzzing. How many of you have ever hummed when you're scared? How about humming?
I'm not scared.
You're not scared of. A few years ago, I realized I love swimming in the ocean, but I didn't know I always hum before I catch and while I catch a big wave. I was feeling safe, right? Do you guys ever sing in the car so you won't be bored?
Yes.
Yeah. So these are all things, well, you're a good whistler. I'm impressed. These are all things you can do, and you can do. Practice one more time. Sure.
Sure.
To come back to yourself, to soothe yourselves, to be okay. Thank you. Thank you for helping.
Thank you very much.
Yes, I think so.
We're going to cut short a little bit this last song, although it's a great one. If you will, rise as you're able, and AV team will just drop the last two verses. So it's a verse, chorus, so it'll be the first four slides, but the fourth slide, you can skip to the last slide. And it's a great song. This is our fourth time to sing it here, which means nobody really knows it yet. So if you rely on me to help you catch it, I will sing the verses and chorus. Try to sing the last chorus if you can. I am looking for shelter in a friend. We can build a beginning, but I do not know the end. I am scared of breaking when I bend. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting stronger. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. There are prayers I don't know how to say, but I still find solace when I close my eyes to pray. What I've lost and what I hope can stay. We will carry each other on the way. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on. Repeat the chorus. My courage is your courage when the journey is only getting longer. My strength is your strength. We will carry each other on the way. Thank you. be seated.
As we extinguish the chalice, hear these words from UU minister Reverend Mark Bellatini. Go in peace, live simply, at home in yourself. Be just in your word, just in deed. Remember the depth of your own compassion. Do not forget your power in times of powerlessness. Speak the truth or speak not. Take care of your body. Be good to it. It is a good gift. Crave for all peoples in this world, beginning with yourselves. Crave peace. And as you go with the dream of that peace, go with it set firm in your heart. Amen.
Congratulations.
Thank you.